Okay, hello Cloud Gurus, and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we're going to talk about why you should learn and get certified with AWS. And I guess I'll start with my journey, why I learned and got certified with AWS. So believe it or not, I don't come from a tech background. I was an immigration lawyer when I graduated from university. I moved to the UK, I live in London, and I was helping people get visas to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and even visas into the United Kingdom. And I was cross-jurisdictional. I was one of the only ones in the world who could do all 4 countries. So I was very highly specialized in what I knew. The problem I had was that during the global financial crisis, when the subprime mortgage market collapsed, essentially there were no mortgages available. And in order to move countries, you need to be able to sell your house. And people couldn't sell their houses because people couldn't get mortgages. And so even though I was highly qualified in an industry, there was no demand for my skills anymore. And so I essentially became jobless. And that's when I decided I wanted to get into an industry that would always be recession proof. And I looked at different industries and tech really stood out to me. So I retrained in 2009. I went to night school and I got my Microsoft and Cisco certification. So my Microsoft MCSE, my Cisco CCNA. And off the back of those certifications, I got a job at Rackspace in 2010. Now, in 2010, Rackspace was at war with Amazon to try and dominate the public cloud market. So I've always watched Amazon ever since I started at Rackspace. I was quickly promoted to a solutions architect while working at Rackspace. I worked there for a couple of years, but the segment that I was in was SMB, so small and medium business. And essentially, I was only ever doing 2 to 4 server deals. I didn't really enjoy that. I wanted something more complicated. So I moved around the industry. I worked for a whole bunch of different employers up until about the end of 2014. And then I was watching AWS and I saw they released this thing called CloudFormation, and I was just fascinated by it. I could see where the future was going, and I knew AWS would be the market leaders in cloud. So I really wanted to get a job there because I wanted to be on the forefront of that revolution. Unfortunately, I tried to do training. There was only in classroom training at the time. It was £1,500 per course. There were 4 courses that I really wanted to do in order to stand out during the job application process, but I just couldn't afford that. And at the time, there was no good online training. So I thought to myself, hey, if I don't get this job at AWS, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an online course as part of my way of solving this issue. And I didn't get the job. And so that's when I founded A Cloud Guru. And it turned out to be the best thing that's ever happened to me. So where is A Cloud Guru going? Well, we have taught AWS to 1.5 million people and counting. We're just over 5 years old. And we acquired Linux Academy in December of 2019. They were a huge competitor of ours, and it made a lot of sense to bring the 2 brands together because we both had the same missions. We both wanted to teach as many people in the world as possible cloud computing and technology in general at a reasonable rate, so you don't have to go and pay £1,500 or dollars or whatever. And now that we have acquired them, we are essentially the largest cloud computing library in the world. We are working together to bring the 2 platforms together under one brand and under one system, and we hope to do that in the immediate future. Can't name dates yet, but we are working very, very hard for that goal. And both companies, we both have this ethos to say that the best way to learn AWS or any other cloud or IT skill is to get your hands dirty. So it's not going to be death by PowerPoint. We're going to do a whole bunch of different, hands-on practical labs throughout this course. And that's the best way to learn is by doing. And Linux Academy have always focused on this very heavily. Linux Academy have hands-on labs. We're bringing those over to A Cloud Guru as well. Once it's all integrated, essentially what you'll be able to do is on our platform is be able to spin up, AWS environments at the click of a button, and then you don't have to sign up, yourself. We don't have that available on A Cloud Guru just yet. We're working very hard on that. Linux Academy is completely integrated right now on their platform. So if you do want to use the labs, go ahead and check out the Linux Academy platform. A Cloud Guru will have that shortly. So that is essentially a story about me and about the company and where we're going. Why should you learn AWS? Well, AWS is essentially, they have a partner program, and we're just having a brief look at the consulting partners. There's all these different partner programs, but essentially there are 3 different tiers of partnerships in, let's say, the consulting partners. So your partner, the entry-level tier is Select, then you've got your Advanced, and then you've got your Premier. And one of the requirements to become a Select partner, you have to have a number of staff who have 2 cloud practitioner certificates or 2 associate certificates. If you want to be an Advanced partner, you have to have staff who have 4 practitioner certificates, 4 associate certificates, and then 3 professional or specialty certificates. And likewise, if you are a Premier partner, you're going to need 10 certificates of practitioner, 10 for associate, and then 10 for professional or specialty certs. So the way it works within Amazon is they sort of gamify it so that the more certificates that you have, the higher level of partnership that you can reach. And of course, that encourages employers to go out and hire AWS certified people over people who are not certified. So if you do have a lot of experience with AWS, or if you don't, it's worth going through and getting certified because you will be in huge demand, as an employee. And it also gives you access to the certification lounge and things like that at events such as reInvent or any of the AWS summits as well. So let's have a look at what AWS certificates you can do. We're going to start with the practitioner tier. So we've got our certified cloud practitioner. This is the entry-level tier. We then have the associate tier. So this consists of 3, which is certified solutions architect associate, certified developer associate, and certified system administrator associate. You don't have to do cloud practitioner to do any of the associate tiers. You can just jump straight in. Likewise, we've got the professional tier, which consists of certified solutions architect professional, certified DevOps professional. Again, you can just jump straight in. You don't have to do any of the associate ones to go on to do your pro. There's no prerequisites. And then specialty, we've got advanced networking, we've got data analytics, we've got security, we've got machine learning, we've got database, and we've got Alexa Skill Builder. So we currently have 6 specialty certs. And again, you don't need any prerequisites to do that. So those are all the certs as they exist today. Let's have a look at the different difficulty levels. And I'm just going to talk about from practitioner to professional. I'm not going to talk about any of the specialties because specialties really depend on your own background. But I'll jump to that in a second. So certified cloud practitioner is by far the easiest. Solutions architect associate follows on from that and is one of the easier ones. I come from a SysOps background. So to me, SysOps administrator associate is easier than, say, developer associate. I don't come from a developer background. You might want to swap these over if you are a developer and don't administer servers. It's totally up to you. Then DevOps Pro is the next one, and then the hardest of them all is Solutions Architect Professional. Now, where I was going with the specialties, again, it depends on your background. If you come from a machine learning background, then the machine learning specialty might be super easy for you, whereas the Alexa Skill Builder specialty might be super hard because you've never made an Alexa skill. So we're just looking at the difficulty levels for the practitioner, associate, and professionals. I'm not going to go into specialty. It just depends on your own background. So let's quickly cover off the AWS new features and services. And I used Amazon's own numbers up until a point, and then they stopped publishing them, and I basically just use market research, news articles, etc. So in 2011, we had 82 new products and services, 2012, 159, 2013, 280, 2014, we had 516, 2015, 735, and this was from all of Amazon's own internal numbers. After that, I had to start sort of guesstimating based on various news articles. So 2016, there was about 1,000 new services. 2017, approximately 1,400. 2018, approximately 1,900. And in 2019, we had about 2,400. I think they said at the keynote it was around 24 to 2500 new products, services, and updates. So you can see AWS is continually advancing and releasing a whole bunch of new things. And don't worry, you can't learn the entire AWS platform. It's just too vast now. There's too many different services. What you should do is have a broad overall knowledge of the platform and then specialize in the services that you want to work with or that interest you. And you should always be continuously learning AWS. You shouldn't just go out and get your cert and then think, well, that's it. We very much promote continuous learning here at A Cloud Guru because if you just learn something and then stop, in 3 or 4 years from now, your skills are going to be out of date. So do always continue to go on and do new courses and learn new things about AWS. Now, this here is a study that's done by Gartner and Goldman Sachs for Business Insider. And essentially, it's showing you cloud as the total potential market for IT spend. So in 2015, it was about 4.3% of all IT spend. And by 2020, they were predicting it to be around 13.2%. So that's more than tripled in terms of your overall IT spend. And then it's, for the next decade, it's going to continue to go up and up and up. There's an old saying that software is eating the world. Well, cloud is eating software. With a few exceptions, if you want to be a software developer, you are going to need to know cloud computing because almost all software is now about to sit on the cloud. And that same study went on to look at the public cloud market share. So you can see by this graph, if we look at this blue one here, AWS continue to climb. They're followed closely by Azure, and right now Google and Alibaba are battling it out as well. This is from reInvent in 2018 during Andy Jassy's keynote, and they were estimating that AWS makes up 51.8% worldwide market share. They're followed by Microsoft, 13.3%, and then Alibaba and Google as well. So it really depends. You can use whatever numbers you want, but whosever numbers you're going to use, AWS are completely dominating the market share of the cloud. Now, don't worry if you have no experience in cloud computing, in tech, if you don't come from a tech background, anyone can learn AWS. Just look at me. I used to be an immigration lawyer, and I have gone through the journey that you've been through. I know how hard it is to get into the tech field, especially starting from not coming from a tech background at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this course very, very easy. We're going to do an explain it like I'm 5 approach. It's going to be very, very hands-on. We're going to make it lots of fun because learning should be fun. You're going to go out and build a whole bunch of different projects, and that is going to allow you to to learn AWS very, very quickly. And like I said, anyone can learn AWS. It doesn't matter what age you are. I've met people in their 60s retraining to learn AWS. I've met some incredible 14, 15, 16-year-olds who are learning, and I'm talking like going up to machine learning specialty AWS as well. So anyone can learn AWS. Don't fear it. We're going to make it super fun, super easy, and we're going to have an explain it like I'm 5 approach, and we're going to assume you know nothing about it. So that is it basically for this lecture. Why learn AWS? Well, it's the fastest growing public cloud on the planet. It's hyper growth, so it's a very safe industry to be in. Even if there's a major recession, there's always going to be a huge need for cloud computing and especially AWS skills. There's fantastic pay. It's one of the best paying clouds out there that you can learn. It's loads of fun, and it's not as complicated as you might think. And everything you need to know to pass your exam will be in this course. So that is it for this lecture, everyone. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're excited to start learning AWS. Let's go ahead and go on to the next lecture. Thank you.